Hey folks, Dude here, coming to you another occasion of a Dude After Dark. I'm still messing with the settings on the video, so give me your leave here for a second. Let me try something else here real fast. That's a little better. Now, considering the situation at hand, I'm wearing the appropriate t-shirt. Yeah, it's definitely a meh. It's definitely, yes, meh. It's definitely a meh situation. The other week, I was running Uber, picked up somebody, dropped them off, pretty much like kind of middle of town, set them off way on the west side of town. Not a ridiculously hard run, maybe like about a 30-minute run. Actually, it's a pretty good paying run when you do stuff like that. But dropped him off, went around the corner, and literally it was just like dead nuts. Went to restart, and essentially, basically, you hit the starter, and it just goes dunk. When you hear dunk, you know you got problems. So then it became a case of trying to find somebody to actually tow the vehicle, which is really, really not easy to do. Trying to find somebody to tow late at night in the Baltimore region of Maryland is really kind of a pain in the butt, actually. So anyway, I find myself now with the situation where it becomes a case of, okay, why did the car stop? Well, I knew by the sound of it, and trust me, I have so many years either behind the wheel, driving vehicles, or towing vehicles, or actually wrenching on vehicles, selling on the parts for vehicles. You pretty much can say I can lay claim to pretty much doing just about everything. Doing everything in the automotive industry, from literally behind the seat. I'm sorry, behind the wheel to behind the counter to in behind the wheel of another vehicle, towing the vehicle that no longer moves. Then I knew the engine was locked up, and usually that means pretty much dead duck. There's an old used car axiom that says essentially no engine, no car. So, and now I find myself where the vehicle has now gone back to the dealership. I literally only took delivery of the vehicle, say like in June, and it's already basically roached the engine. So that's bad juju. And it seems to be a situation where they've described it already that, they pulled off the oil pan, which is the first thing you do when anytime you have catastrophic engine failure, is you have two means of pretty much just looking at stuff. Number one, you can either pull spark plugs and you can put a scope down there and you can do that way, or you can simply just put the car up in the air, pull the oil pan, and you look at the oil pan and you go, what kind of yummies do we have in here? Well, it was full of yummies. There was lots of shrapnel, other metal shavings, and just, all kinds of good stuff. And underneath the bottom of the engine, you have two shafts in a normal engine, which would be the camshaft on top, the crankshaft on the bottom. One spins twice as fast as the other, and it basically works the valves. Now, on more modern engines, they normally have 4 camshafts. Now, those are on top of the cylinder heads, which is basically, if you look at an engine, it's pretty much like a V. So it's on top of those. So you really don't even bother with those. You look for what's going on with the crankshaft. Now, the crankshaft essentially is what's transmitting the power from the pistons, basically being pushed up and down by the exploding gasoline that you squirt in there and then light with a spark plug. It transmits that force into a circular motion that then can be harvested by the transmission to make the vehicle then proceed down the roadway. Now, underneath the crankshaft, half of the crankshaft is, of course, supported by the bottom of the engine. The other half of it is something called a main bearing. It is literally a big piece of metal with usually 2 to 4 bolts going through it, and there's a half moon cut in it that basically the crankshaft has half of its circumference spinning in. And what happens then is it has an oil bath. Pressurized oil squirted through there. So technically, the metal never touches the metal. There's always what's known as a hydrodynamic wedge. And what it is it's a high pressure film of oil that is squirted between these two metal surfaces to keep them moving smoothly so they don't just go and tear each other to shreds. Well, basically the oil pump in my car failed, so it became a case of just metal on metal on metal on no lubrication, done. Now, the thing about it is modern engines, being their construction methodology, which is pretty much mostly aluminum with a minimum amount of steel utilized. So we are now in the situation of the car is back at the dealership, and the dealership's now, basically throwing in the insurance company going, okay, what's going on here? So now what it might be a case is I'm going to have a simple case of a new short block. So essentially what that is they pull all the old parts off the old engine. They slap the new parts on basically 70% of what would be considered a engine. Patriot Fever says there's no sound. There's no sound. I mean, I'm showing sound. At least I should be showing sound. As far as I know, I'm showing sound. Oh man, not again. This really sucks. Hang on a second here. Let me cheat something really fast. I'm really going to be cheating here because I'm simply just going to log into my own channel here and see what the live cast looks like on my other. So I might actually hear an echo here if things are working correctly. Let's see here. Hopefully things are working correctly. Let's see here. I got sound, dude. I got sound. I now have sound. You might actually. Okay, Patriot. Okay, dude, you're giving a little bit of cardiac theater there, man. I was like, what the hell? All right. So anyway, so essentially we have the situation of we're now basically waiting for the insurance company to go, yeah, it's scragged. It's scrap. It's trash. We now have to fix this thing. Because you don't just buy a car from the dealership, even used, and they go, yeah, that's nice. That's your problem. No, it was a case of I bought it and it was supposedly Honda certified. Honda, just, basically they gave it the full, two fingers up the old tailpipe and okay, yeah, that's a good car. Okay, yeah. So anyway, so that's the way on that one. Jack Cat, I could confirm for you, it was not peanut oil for 520. And actually, to tell you the truth, in that engine, I think it's actually 020 because it's a modern, very tight clearance engine. And it's usually synthetic oil, I believe, because it's like $60 plus oil changes on that car. But the thing about it is we're now looking at the fact that, well, I basically am now looking at a new short block. So not a happy time. And so that's where we are with that one. Obviously, I'm down for the count for, doing any form of driving right now. I'm driving, one of our old cars. Probably when they say, yes, it is going to be something that we need to rectify, we'll, call Enterprise and give you a car. Well, that's nice. But in terms of me doing anything, the car is my business. I mean, that's basically what I do to earn the majority of my, weekly earnings is driving that car, doing Uber and Lyft. I do some side work. It doesn't really pay a lot, but I do some side work. Like I said, I'm a band tech for a couple bands, and I do work with a sound guy. So literally, I'm helping those guys set up, tear down, basically get their band stuff set up to some degree. I mean, some guys literally just walk in there like, yeah, I'm good. Basically they put down a guitar stand, they put down the board with all their various effects in it, and they just start plugging things into the sound guy's setup, and that's their setup. They basically take care of their own stuff. Drummers usually have more stuff. Some drummers want you to handle their things. Other drummers pretty much say, I got this, because they're just not really like they're anal and they're, want to be, just jerks about it. It's just they want to have their stuff in just a certain way. Let's see. Patriot Review says, try having a gear jump a tooth on a camshaft on a 550 horse tractor. Ouch. Yeah, that's not good. That's really not good. I'm going to assume that basically you had not a timing belt, but a gear drive or a timing chain. And yeah, if nothing else, diesels really don't like going out of time because usually diesels pretty much have really, really, really snug clearances because literally they work by not combustion, but compression. They literally squeeze the fuel until it just goes, all right, that's all right, and they just blow. Patriot Fever's typing in many, many, many dollar signs. I'm going to assume that pretty much that engine just went not happyville. So anyway, that's where I am currently with that one, and I am now stuck dealing with the insurance. Yes, yeah, I'm dealing with that, okay? So anytime you have an engine proceed to just go... Yeah, not good things happen, okay? That is really not good times when your engine just goes kaput. Anytime you have, mechanical stuff that should be well lubricated, not well lubricated, and, Well, or jumping time. I wasn't really, no, that one wasn't good. I didn't like that one. No. No. No, that one wasn't so great either. There's got to be another one in there. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Okay, when your engine goes, yeah, that's when you know you got problems. And anytime you have something like that happen and you're dealing with, obviously vehicles, I mean, it's not going to be cheap, okay? Anytime that you have something break, snoo. Now, it is not snoo, okay? No, it is not snoo. No, that is not snoo. You could say most assuredly, anytime you say that, the dealer is just going to look at you, oh, take out your wallet and... Oh, yeah. But if you do the warranty, it is not... Death by snoo. It is not death by snoo, okay? There's no... Snoo. No, there's no snoo involved. Stop. Okay? There's no snoo involved. Hopefully the insurance company has this. The only thing I really didn't have to outlay, ridiculous expenditures. You start talking like short block and engine replacement, and you start talking $3,000 to $5,000. Easy. And with a Pilot, I think it's like a 3.5. I think it's a 3.5 Y8 engine at this point. I don't know the engine family per se so much as I know it's a 3.5 liter Honda motor, and it is a direct injection, which basically means it's the newer. So all that new tech and stuff comes into play, and there's a lot of times that new tech really is not very forgiving when things go south. So hopefully they can short block it, and it's not going to be a case of, okay, we just replaced this. Oh, wow, that thing basically got loaded up with a bunch of metal particles, and it didn't like it either. So you got to come back and fix that thing now. And then, of course, the cascade and the flow chart of things going completely boobs up is not going to be fun times, okay? Because that most assuredly, when things really, really, really go wrong and stuff starts breaking because of a previous error... Oh, yeah, you get boned. Big time boned. Celtic74 says, who else is watching? Well, we got Patriot Fever and Jack Cat in the room. Comp Wiz is checking in now. Doing some target practice, are we? Yeah, well, yes. I mean, it's not going to show on this camera because it's not the highest resolution. But on this target, let's see. This was... hang on a second. I'm going to have to cheat. Let's see. I'm going to have to cheat. Where did I put my regular glasses? Yeah, my distance glasses. Okay. My distance glasses. All right. So let's see here. That was... that was Bark. And up there, that was the lever action 22 Marlin. So that was the 39A. Right there. That was the 39A. And then, of course, that was Bark. Bark is more point and spray and scare the crap out of everybody because it's loud. I cannot tell you how fun it is to bring a 5.56 .223 pistol into a gun range, and it's like bang, 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 and it's like everybody just stops and they're like, it's almost like the racehorse is leaning out of the stalls, and everybody's like, what in the world is going on back there? Yeah, even the guys with the 44s stopped shooting because 5.56 inside a closed range, man, it's definitely interesting. You can have the target 25 feet away and the target's blowing around. It's fun. It's definitely fun. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have been looking at the Gab stuff yet, but I do have the Gab page, and I don't know if I'm going to interchangeably say Gab 1 or Gab 1 is Gab 2 or Gab 2 is Gab 1. But I do have the Gabs on there, and I have been putting, content up on Gab. Why? Because I'm still going to have 3 more days on Facebook. Now, I suspect that most likely I'm going to get back on Facebook, and then Facebook's going to go, that's nice. You put something on there 3 years ago. So I'm going to be on Facebook for maybe about 5 minutes before they go, that's it. Another 30 days. CompWiz says, do I draw a smiley face on the target before shooting? Well, set the Wayback Machine to like the early 90s. Well, of course, Lethal Weapon, you'd have Basically, Martin Riggs doing the smiley face after, the one guy put the one bullet hole in the middle of the face, like, ha ha, see? And then he ran the target way out and could do the smiley face. I used to be able to do a smiley face at 25 meters with a 1911 box stock. Now, since my eyesight has shifted and I've gotten older, I still can shoot that accurately. It's just now I need probably to utilize, I'm probably going to be using glass. I still can shoot like that, though. That's not even a problem. For me, what I usually tend to do is I tend to go out to the range. And for me, what I like to do is I shoot a hole and I keep shooting the same hole. That's the way I shoot. I remember where it was pretty funny. One time I was at this one range and they actually had like a double pane of glass where you could, be the observer looking into the gun range as people are shooting. And obviously the sound level wasn't too bad out in the store area. And so basically I pull off the target and I'm looking at it. And this guy's like, he's like, nice group. I was like, one group, two groups, three groups, four groups, five groups, six groups. And the guy was like, oh, okay. It's like, no, that wasn't a shotgun pattern. That was like, me shooting quarter-size groups just to get dialed in on the rifle just for the fun of it. So Jack Cat says they have 3 years and 30 timeouts lined up for dude. Jeez. Oh, man. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, hey, you can't post that here. It's like, well, I did post it there, and you guys allowed it. Hey, it's still up here. We're going to hold it over your head. Yeah, well, the funny thing is, like, the thing that they actually boned me for, they jacked up, they jacked up because they allowed me to delete what they boned me for. So they can't hit me for that one again because it's now gone. They used to be in such a way that they would not allow you to delete the stuff that they would nail you for. Now it's a case of they boned you for it, and it's just like, you were held up on a 30-day because of X. And it's like, the stuff that only you can see. And I have a really, really hard and fast rule. It's like anytime that they do something like that to me, I'll share it publicly. And I'll let people know why they wouldn't allow me to do it. Now that I got Gab, unfortunately, I really don't have the huger amount of following or, carryover. And it kind of sucks. But it is good for archiving. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I find, and it's like, I'll find it on Facebook, and I'll put it on Gab. Or, there's something on Gab, I'll put it on, I would like to put it on Facebook. But it's going to be a situation now where I'm pretty much just going to be going, when I can charitably post stuff up on Facebook, and I'm not being completely boned in that regard, I'll be putting stuff up, hopefully still on Facebook. But, it's like the last thing that they nailed me for was me actually in a conversation with somebody, and I was talking about, of all things, that, like the Israelis use an armored bulldozer for engagements. And literally it was a case of, if you shoot at basically the Israelis come in and they level the house. That, they call that house clearing, quite literally. And so they were like, well, you this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, the crazy Russians, this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can't call the Russians crazy. It's like, that's probably about the mildest insult anybody's ever gotten a 30-day for. And I contested it. They put it back on there like, yeah, okay, you're right. And then they nailed me for it again. So, it's one of these lowering the bar things where it's like they give such aid and comfort to their protected classes. Like, there is statements that can be made by transsexuals. There are statements that can be made by blacks. There are statements that can be made by anybody of like a certain religious orientation, Muslims and all the rest of those guys. They pretty much can say anything that they'd ever truly wish for. And Facebook will not hold them up to any form of, hey, man, you may have just crossed the line with that one. They will never hold them to that regard. Very simply put, because, they have this liberal guilt thing where they, we can't do anything about that. Otherwise, we'll be racist. But, if me being Johnny Whitebread, if I say something like that, I'm hung out to dry. Because, white males can be held up to a higher regard of, you can't say these things because otherwise you're racist. Well, I got bad news for them. I'm not white. Okay, first and foremost, I'm not white. I'm Jewish, which means I'm Sephardic, which means basically I'm about the same guys running around on the other side of the Gaza. Yeah, I'm like of those guys. So I'm not white. You can basically break it down as much as you wish to. That bloodline still runs through my veins. As a matter of fact, it runs so far down that I actually have the correct blood type of a derivative, not O, of which it would be a European derivative. I have an A blood type derivative, which means I am from down there as a Sephardic. Easy to test, very easy to test. If your blood test is, comes back as a certain blood type, you're Sephardic, man. That's just how that one runs. Let's see. GOP, gluttons of punishment. Oh, jeez. The Bluebird Badge of Liberty. Oh, you mean the Blue Falcon Club? Yeah. Oh, man. Jack Cat says, I remember when Faceplant surfaced and was proclaimed a top-tier social media for educated folks. No ads, academics only need apply. Wow. Yeah, you're talking about the Blue Falcon, also known as the Buddy Blanker. The Buddy F-word Blanker. Yeah, those guys. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we are in that regard. I really don't consider Facebook like a huge dominant force for me to do anything right now. Most of the time I just go in there and I see what my friends are up to, use Messenger to talk to them behind the scenes, and CompWiz, actually it's got a little bit of a story there. Yeah, I mean basically, my grandparents read like my mom's dad and mom, both of them are, people that came over. My grandfather from Austria, my grandmother from Hungary. And then, of course, my dad's family being Irish Kraut, so German and Irish. And I pretty much got like all the really good, easy to piss off guys. It's like the Hungarians. Well, you think about, the Huns. Oh, okay, that's not good. You basically think about the Germans. Yeah, they're kind of feisty too. The Austrians, yeah, they kind of had a little bit of a time and, mixing things up with like, all those, the Hessian aggression, all that good stuff. And of course the Irish, well, the fighting Irish, they're just feisty. Dude's grandparents created the internet and are actively looking for Al Gore. Oh gosh, no. Oh man. Well, humorously enough, my granddad came over here, I think, as a very, very young child. And he actually worked his way up and became an electrical engineer and was actually working for and retired from the Voice of America. So he was the guy sending the radio broadcast, shortwave kind of style, off to, the foreign lands that really were just, not good for information. I'm sure he probably pissed off the Russians to no small extent, saying, hey, here's some information that you guys really don't want out there, okay? Yeah, that kind of stuff. So anyway, let me go over here to my Gab and run through my Gab and start pulling stuff off and have some fun with it. Mostly because I can speak openly on YouTube as long as I don't use any of the catchwords, phrases, or show off a firearm. But oh well. And obviously, yes, CompWiz and an American, of course, they both naturalized. Obviously, the second generation was my uncle and my mom, and of course, third generation, of course, would be myself. Let's see here. There is this. Gosh, how do I say this without saying this? I'm gonna say that this chick really looks like a dude. Okay. So I'm simply just going to say a Transosaurus. But anyway, the person's name is Jaynee. Janie McGee. And it's a real person. I mean, I actually looked them up on Facebook. They really, truly have like this kind of snarky way of expressing themselves for their Facebook page. I'm not even going to get into like, the URL for it. But she says, I'm saying you loosely she, okay? Because she pretty much looks like dude, looks like a lady. But anyway, I do this all the time. I finally got the S word hitty lady who lives down the hall from me to start wearing a mask by yelling at her in front of her kid every day. I literally don't give a fakaka duty if you aren't wearing a mask in public. If you If you aren't wearing a mask in public, you deserve to be spit on, and I will scream at you loudly and aggressively. Now, what I said on my my Gab post was, if this fat, disgusting Transosaurus ever spat on me, he, she, it would be picking teeth up from the ground after they got done waking him up from being knocked the blank word out after I whomped the blank word out of it with a 2x4. This is the kind of woke, seeking attention, kind of self-effacing, self-aggrandizing, I'm going to show you how things are in the world, kind of just this really, truly disaffected liberal thing that they seem to think that they're badasses. They're really not. I mean, there's been a number of times where you see like these Antifa guys, and they're really tough as a group. One-on-one, though, they come walking up to some guy, and they try something. They swing on dude, and dude just goes duck and crack. Antifa's on the ground, or they're like, hey, buddy, are you okay? As they're spraying him down with pepper spray, and it is beyond uproarious. Most of the time when you have these Antifa guys and they got pepper sprayed, well, they had a slight problem because they were wearing like these goggles and the masks and everything. Yeah, they had certain protection for about 5 seconds, and then the vapors went right through and was just magnified because now it was on their face. Now, the first thing you're going to do, obviously, when you're hit with pepper spray is you're going to try to wash it off. That doesn't work. You just make it worse. Because in every place that didn't have it before, guess what? It's now in solution and it's going there. Every time I've ever heard of somebody encounter pepper spray, it's like, I thought it was a badass till I got pepper sprayed. Then I realized I'm really just a wimp. It is not the stuff to trifle with. And these guys really, truly just need to stop messing with people, because when they get stomped, they always go, oh, I had the camera running because I had to show how badly I was disrespected by these Neanderthals and troglodytes and da-da-da. Okay, if you want to really, truly protect yourself from those situations, Mr. Antifa, Transosaurus, whatever, don't walk up to bikers or other guys who are badasses and play games with them. Because when you get stomped, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Okay? Just don't do it. I don't know if you guys know about this one, but down in South Florida, there's going to be a good thing happening. The Million Maskless March and mask burning is planned in Florida. Fed Up Floridian is calling for 1 million state residents to march on April 10 to mark the date with a celebration of freedom. You're invited to the Million Maskless March and Mass Burning Saturday, April 10, 2021 at 3 p.m. at the corner of A1A and Los Olas in Fort Lauderdale. Now, I've never been to those two streets. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. Literally, I only went to the airport and I went to fly. I flew in and I went out on a boat. Okay, I didn't explore Fort Lauderdale. Sorry. Race protester organizer Chris Nelson reportedly has organized viral flash mobs at chain stores that repopularized Twisted Sister's protest anthem, We're Not Gonna Take It. So anyway, what it is they got this announcement, and they say essentially, show up there. They have to get together. People are going to woof the masks and good stuff like that there. See. Clay Hudson says, do you know where I can get a decent gravity knife on a budget? I really like the Fallschirmjäger knives. Dude, like I've said on my gravity knife video with 1.3 million views or some such, might be more than that now, but I've said endlessly, gunbroker.com. Pretty much about the only source I've found. eBay has not allowed gravity knives or pretty much the namesake for those things. Any of the producers, anytime you do a search for them, it basically is just it just doesn't go anywhere because they disallowed having gravity knives on eBay in any way, shape, and form. So if you're looking for them, dude, gunbroker.com, search for gravity knives, running about $150, $170. And that's it, man, because what happened is that the HERE or the Fallschirmjägers, I guess Army / paratrooper side of it, they stopped using those things like back, I think it was like the latter 80s is when they actually took them out of service. So essentially, we now have the ones that are imported because, literally the ones in Germany had to be exported because you can't run a gravity knife in Germany. I mean, literally, you cannot use them. And so they just exported them. And so the situation on that one was is they started kicking them out. And obviously they had to be exported to somebody. So we were more than willing. And I can tell you for a fact, years ago, I was snapping those things up. And they were like $50 to $70 knives. That was like expensive. Okay. They were around and they were not real expensive. But like anything else, anytime you have rarity increases prices because you have a limited supply. I would definitely go gun broker though. There is another website or two I saw that were like Switchblade specific websites. They had this stuff, but I think it's pretty much dried up at this point in time. Let's see. Got a couple conversations going on in there. Going to get to the point where, Patriot Fear, we're going to get to the point where everybody has to wear a body cam. Well, dude, you already got a body cam, okay? When you get down to it and you start saying, well, I don't know if there's any pictures of that, just look around the internet. Everybody snapped pictures of all manner of stupid things, okay? Everybody is constantly taking pictures of stuff with their phones. So much so that actually I keep my 4G turned off unless I'm using this. And as soon as I'm done using it, boop, I turn it right back off again. The only time I actually leave the 4G on is if I'm at work working a gig because it's such high noise. They really can't hear what I'm doing. Also, the other thing, too, is also the phone is usually in a belt holder. So the only view you're getting is me walking around at waist level, and you're probably seeing other people's butts and crotches. Have fun. You want to hack into my phone and stare at people's, waist level all the rest of the night? Have a blast. Let's see. Convoy said, be sure not to cough or sneeze or sniffle when in Florida. Dude, no, it's pretty much opened up. I got friends down there, and it's just like masks are very much optional. Some stores still say to wear a mask, but most places, if you wear a mask in Florida, they're looking at you like, dude, what is your problem? Obviously you have the old guy areas where they might actually still maintain mask wearing, and obviously they'll have some paranoia, but most times people will just, they're not even like openly rebelling. They're just saying this is stupid and they're just doing stuff. Okay. Like the gigs I've done, pretty much most of the time people are saying, yeah, I'm tired of wearing the mask, and they take it down for a minute and they put it back up. And it's stupid. It's really just stupid at this point. Okay. Oh yeah, it might save 1% of the population. No, it's not going to save 1% of the population. Okay. It's got a 99.6 survival rate. And, you're talking like only a very certain segment of the population is truly affected by it. There's a lot of speeches and bad information out there. Now, Mrs. Dude might actually get the vaccination simply because, she has like horrible immunity. I mean, her immunity is like somebody walks by her and they think the world cold, and she's like, oh no. So she's probably looking at getting the Johnson & Johnson one simply because that one is a traditional virus being knocked out to the point where your body recognizes as a threat. It's not that mRNA junk. That's the Frankenstein coming out the laboratory where they're like, all right, just dump that stuff in the human body. They'll be fine. I would tend to think if I was going to get the vaccination, I would do the Johnson & Johnson. However, I haven't gotten sick. I've still got my sense of taste. I still got my sense of smell. My immunity is pretty kick-ass. I mean, I eat a lot of vitamins. I've always had a really good immune system. I still get sick, but it's rare. I mean, it's not like I get a cold every single year where I'm just like knocked on my ass. When I do get a cold, it's a good cold because it was one of those ones that was like, it snuck through the wire. And it was like, basically it was good enough to get in. And it was like, all right, time to party. And my body's like, dude, I'm done. Logan Ray, appreciate you coming by, dude. Patriot Fever or fart in Florida. Sharting in California is socially acceptable, though, I hear. Absolutely, dude. If you walk up to somebody in Florida and you let fly, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be an issue. The only problem you have to worry about, though, is those guys that walk up to you and go, oh, sorry, it slipped. Yeah, but that's mostly in San Francisco, okay? It's not like you really have people walking up to you and they're just, oh, I think that slipped. Oh.
Fatality.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think they're going to walk up to you and just, well, in California, they might. I don't know, man. All I know is if you do it in some places, yeah, you're going down, dude. Okay, you can't just walk into somebody and just no, don't do that. Okay, don't just no. Yeah, you might slip that one by him. Okay, you might slip that one by him, but do not. No, that is a shart of another flavor entirely. Let's see. Jackhat, is it true that DC juvenile carjacking murder plea deal to the slap on the wrist? Read something that will be done with punishment at age 21 and will not serve jail time. Well, it's DC, dude. It's DC. Of course, you have that third world essence going on between Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Chicago, L.A., New York City. They kind of have this third world nation thing going on where it's pretty much just, you whack the guy, you whack the guy, okay? Just don't whack off the guy. Beware the volunteer leak plugger with lisps in Florida. Oh, ooh, yeah, that's the one you got to look out for. So Gator was saying up here something. Gator Red said, well, Easter went like Christmas and New Year's alone, eating TV dinners or cooked ham and fish and chips. So I figured I better get more fixed windmill gearbox, like 2 for $40 shipped US made better. Okay. I don't get the reference, but sure. Jack, Cletus. Yeah, exactly. That was the Nutty Professor. Yeah, that one right there. Yes, that is the Nutty Professor honk. Yes, Cletus. Yeah. Now look what you made me do. Yeah, the farting contest around. Oh man, the Nutty Professor. That dinner scene is just like absolutely the most dysfunctional family dinner ever. So anyway, got that mass burning going on April 10th. If you guys want to go down to Fort Lauderdale, I would, there's something I'm looking at on eBay that the guy is saying it will not ship, and it's in Miami. And I'm like, man, I got off time. I got a credit card that's just saying use me for the flight. I can make that one work. I could literally fly down there, but it's Miami. I would fly down to Miami, get the item. Or obviously have to rent a car and fly back the same day with basically it's like, my knapsack and the new item that I just got. But the thing is, the item is like exceedingly cheap and it would almost justify the expenditure of flying down there, flying back, renting a car. It would almost justify the expenditure simply because just the appearance of it looks period correct for something that I'm trying to do for one of my many, many projects. Pager Fever. Do you think our current cabinet has colon cleansing competitors? Absolutely. But screw a guy. Yep, that's right. But screw a guy. And I got something about him, so let me scroll up and I'll talk about him. But Pete, but screw a guy. Yep, that guy. Yep. And I would put it in the room what I actually, would call him. You know what? The way that YouTube works and the algorithm and everything, I probably could just write it out and it would probably fly because it's not going to be like, at the beginning of the video, but you never know when they pull stuff out and, they play things around, but I might be able to squeeze this one in there quite literally. So let me see. Let me see if I can't do this one. Yeah, I think that'll work. I could probably say this one. We're talking about Pete. The middle word is the one that's the problem. That's right. But do a guy. Yeah, Pete, but do a guy. Yeah, and of course you saw the other phrasing that I utilized there. So anyway, I got something about Pete in a minute or two. So anyway, get back over here. I'm looking at stuff on my laptop, and I'm actually looking at the archive stuff I put on my Gab account. So scrolling over here, Georgia has now stepped up and they said, you know what? We're going to protect gun rights during emergencies. And this is badass. I mean, completely badass. What they said essentially is the lockdown played merry havoc with gun rights in the state of Georgia. While ostensibly a pro-gun state, Georgia shut down all courthouses in the state as part of the response to COVID-19. Now, ordinarily, this wouldn't be a big thing except for one thing. The issuing authority for carrying permits are the county probate courts. Because the courthouses were shut down, there was no way to get a permit issued if you needed one. The Georgia General Assembly decided they needed to step in and make sure that doesn't happen again. A bill expanding gun right protections in Georgia is heading back to the House after it passed the state Senate Monday with an amendment further limiting the powers of the governor during states of emergency. Translation, you need to carry, you can carry. When it passed in the House last week, the bill had language preventing the governor from blocking gun or ammunition manufacture or sales, suspending or revoking gun licenses, refusing to accept an application or single out gun stores or shooting ranges for closure during a state of emergency. State law already bars the governor from prohibiting possession of firearms and ammunition during emergencies. So they doubled down on this one. Georgia's looking good, with the exception of Atlanta. But, you know, it's like every state in the union, every state, every state in the union has that one town, that one city, that one area that just tends to go very, very, how do I say this without being pejorative? How do I say this? That's right. It goes very blue. That's right. It goes very blue. So anyway, like the one area of Georgia would definitely be Atlanta. Atlanta is like, ATL. That's all you hear is ATL. You know, it made like some wannabe, Boys from the Hood movie called ATL. It's like, why didn't you just simply just say this is the ghetto? Okay, that's really all you really needed to say about it in that movie. It's like, yeah, the Crips and the Bloods fight here. Okay. I mean, the other day, Mrs. Dude and I and one of the neighbors, we were out front basically carrying on a conversation, and this African-American couple comes pulling up. And they're like, so what's your neighborhood like? It's like, it's nice. You don't have the Crips and Bloods duking it out here. And immediately, the woman who was driving the car started laughing. It's like, this is not one of those neighborhoods where you have the Crips and the Bloods duking it out. She's like, oh, okay. She got it. Okay. I was saying it wasn't ratchet. It wasn't bougie. It wasn't like, crap. It wasn't like this fake premise kind of a neighborhood where you pull in and it's like, pretty much like all white picket fences. And it's like you have a monochrome of white faces inhabiting the place. So she was cool. And, that's the other thing too, is I don't get culture shock. I never really have gotten culture shock. I've always been pretty much the minority, pretty much everywhere I've ever lived. So I don't get culture shock. I actually think it's funny to be the only white guy in the black area. It doesn't bug me. So anyway, yeah, so it's kind of one of those funny things too. Is also like, they basically promo the ATL. It's like, are you really saying that your place is total crap? Is that what you're trying to say? Oh no, man, we just made a movie to show that our struggle. It's like, dude, it's your own struggle in your own neighborhood. You guys basically duke it out with each other all the time. It's not like the white guy has to do anything to you. You're basically pecking rounds at each other all the time. The white guys are just sitting back going, yeah, these guys really just fight each other all the time. I got nothing else to add to that one, man. It is what it is. It's pretty much a war zone of their own creation. So anyway, CLU, F that. Drop me off 2 blocks to work for a photo op of me riding a Jack Cat. I have the news story about that one. Don't worry about that one. CLUS, if Black Lives Mattered, they need to talk to their own youths, not white people. Dude, it is the most fake, vacant, obvious Soros cash mandated BS organization ever. Because if BLM really cared, they wouldn't just be putting like BLM on the street. They'd say, these are our guys coming in to proactively assist those people in those neighborhoods to try to improve the place, try to get rid of the bad guys, try to institute the good guys to stay, try to institute the store owners to open places back up again, because it really doesn't pay to have a store there or a bodega that constantly keeps getting bashed and robbed and whatnot. People leave and they don't come back. As a matter of fact, I have had so many times where it's like, you have like a young black male in the back of my car, and I'm picking him up and I'm dropping him off. And he's like, yeah, I get some cash together. I'm out of here. It's like, this is not a good place for me to be. I really don't associate with other people around here. It's pretty much a shooting gallery. So the smart guys know this ain't the place to be. Roll. And they're doing it. And it's not like, they're really saying they're being bougie or, they're being false premises or anything. They're saying, no, man, this is crap. I'm not going to live like this anymore. And I don't blame them a bit. Regressive party control. Absolutely, dude. Patriot Fever. I don't know. My Nerf guns have good range, and Little Patriots 1 and 2 are getting good at crack. Oh, jeez. Well, I know I have it on good authority that Patriot Fever pretty much got put in the you're not getting any you're not getting any. Yeah, because he shot Mrs. Patriot Fever in the Pataka. So, buddy, you ain't getting no, you're in a really short supply of some ing. Foam missiles and ankles can take down a trans testicle. Trans testicle. Oh, my word. Now, if only we could make it so that the kids don't have to sit through a drag queen at a reading time in a library. Because to me, that basically is about the same thing as subjecting the kids to circuses and clowns. Eesh. I've never liked clowns. Let's see. Scroll. I love this meme. This meme had me in tears. Tony with a big black space over her name. Getting a gun as difficult as it is to vote. Martin with a blank over his last name. You want them mailed out to everyone? Classic. This one is actually YouTube specific, and it had me in tears. This is one I cannot do it fit. I cannot do it any service other than simply tell you guys what it is. But this one's just charitably one of the funniest damn things I think I've ever heard. YouTube is removing the dislike feature from the Biden White House content because it continues to see massively not enough likes and huge amounts of dislikes. That's right. We got to fix this right now. That's right. We got to remove that because every time we put on a video, we get too many dislikes. We don't like the way that looks. The optics are just wrong. Yeah. So anyway, the Biden White House is removing the dislike function or asking YouTube, hey, could you please fix that so we don't have... Uh-oh. That's 15,000 dislikes to only 42 likes. By Snoo Snoo. No, dude, that is not death by Snoo Snoo. That is most definitely... You know it, brother. He is getting roughshod. So now they're asking... And you can look at it. You can look at it for what it's worth. If you log onto YouTube and you look for the Biden White House, the official White House feed for the YouTube channel of the Biden White House, the likes are maybe like about 2,400 or something. And it's like 17,000, 19,000, 35,000 dislikes. Every single video, whether it's him, whether it's Kamala, whether it's, Peppermint Pasaki, whatever her name is, whether it's Peppermint Pasaki coming out there and doing her usual spiel of, defending the indefensible, their videos just get raped. And I do mean raped. Yeah, Jack Cat, exactly. Exactly, Jack Cat. And less than 100,000 views per video. He's saying that Trump also had similar dislikes, but massive likes and millions of views. Well, I remember seeing the Trump videos, and it would be like 2 million views with maybe like 30,000 dislikes. But it was like 114,000, 224,000. There's like at least 5 or 9 to 1 likes versus dislikes on every single one. Jack Cat, voting is easy. Ask anyone at an inner city cemetery. Oh, jeez. Man, you guys are on fire tonight. Patriot Fever, I'll be charitable and put up with Biden channel on the smart TV and turn little patriots loose with the Nerf guns and dirty diaper ammo. Record it, post it, and let them get the view numbers up. Wow. You know what, dude? You know, I know you've been posting a lot of, really cool, patriotic, good videos. I like your content. Only problem is right now you're not getting the penetration. You're really not getting the penetration. And I think what it is maybe you need to just like you said, basically to make like a joke video of the kids watching like a Biden thing and just have them like lighting the TV up with the Nerf guns. But that would be utterly hilarious. It's like my children and their political views upon Joe Biden. And they're just tearing the TV up. That would be epic. Just post a video up like that, make it a meme, and have some fun with it. Digested strain piece to Biden's face moneymaker. Wow. Recreation of The Exorcist with the pea soup. Ugh, nasty. Let's see. I did post up a meme of the estimated total deaths of the pandemic as a percentage of the global population of the time. And it is beyond amazing what the numbers are. It's like Black Death was like 43.2% death rate. COVID is like 0.0325% or something. It's just like, it's like number 6 from the top, and it's like swine flu was like, the number 1. Number 2 was yellow fever. Number 3 was the Great Plague of Marseille. Number 4 was the Russian plague. Number 5 was the Great Plague of London. Number 6 was the Hong Kong flu, and number 7 is COVID. So that's posted up there, and that is actually from the Deutsche Bank, Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. I don't know how they actually got that information, but it's up there, and I posted a meme of it, so it's on my Gab. I don't know if you guys really know about this one or not, but this one's being floated. Now, I got to tell you, from day one, there was something about the guy I did not like. I've never liked. And he's got this kind of aura about him that just seems sketch. And that's about the only way I can really express it. He kind of makes the hair rise on the back of your neck, saying there's some kind of just duplicitous thing about the guy. But I do not trust Mike Pence. And he's now eyeing a presidential run in 2024. Guess what, dude? I don't care if you are the GOP guy. I ain't voting for you. I will never vote for you, and you will not get my support ever. Just like I voted holding my nose for Mitt Romney, I will never vote for another rhino asshole Republican ever again. I don't care if the Democrats win in perpetuity. I will not vote for a rhino ever. Take that to the bank. Pence, you ain't ever getting my vote, Jack. Bugger off on that one. I don't care who you think you are. You are not Donald Trump. Scroll. This one is kind of one of those intriguing things, and it's simply a case of follow the money. If you look at the average flu epidemic numbers per year, it's either exceedingly a bad year or just a mild year. There is no in between with flu cases. Well, since COVID has been around, you can look at the numbers, and it's very specious how things are working. They say the flu cases have plummeted during the pandemic. Between the 2019 to 2020 flu season, there was 38 million reported cases. Now, in the 2020 to 2021 flu season, there's only 1,822. Now, here's the other thing, too, is also, if you look at the insurance payouts, people being treated for X, Y, and Z pay, X, Y, and Z. People getting treated for COVID, the insurance companies are paying an absolute maximum potential quantity of cash, and the hospitals are realizing that. That's where you have a guy who's been major traffic accident, major trauma, dude's coming in. He's basically almost in 3 pieces. Obviously, he brings, he's coded 2 times on the way in. They basically keep a sticker going just long enough, basically just pumping blood in like crazy. Dude's squirting it out almost as fast. They barely keep the guy stable. He comes to the hospital, of course, flatlines, just dead duck. He was pretty much dead at the scene, but they kept him alive until he got to the hospital. And they say, okay, this guy had a traumatic traffic accident, but guess what? It was COVID that killed him. Sketch. Very sketch. But they're just cashing in because they get paid more to report it as a COVID case rather than a traumatic traffic accident where dude was basically almost cut in 3 pieces. Let's see. Scroll. Scroll. I got a lot of memes here. This one is interesting. This is coming actually from, of all people, the Germans, which blows me away that they would actually do something like this. But they keep saying that they are now banning the usage of the AstraZeneca vaccine, or they're restricting the use, simply because they're saying now that it's causing blood clots. Well, that's not exactly true. A blood clot is a blood clot. Wherever it happens in your body, you can say generically it's a blood clot. But if you have one of those in your head, well, that's a stroke. If you have one of those in the wrong place, you're a dead duck. If you have a couple of those in the wrong place, you're completely conjittered and trying to recover from your brain trying to rewire itself. But that is known as a cerebral thrombosis. Thrombosis is just a clot wherever it takes place. Femoral thrombosis took place in your femoral artery. Basically, if it happens in other places, they basically, that's one of the nice things about medical terms is you can tack something on something. And if you know half of what you're talking about, you kind of get the feel for it. Well, a lot of it gets really, really technical, but a thrombosis just means it's a blood clot. But they say it's isolated to the blood clot that restricts the flow to the brain. That's a pulmonary. No, that's a cerebral. Pulmonary would be in your lungs. Well, that tends to be one of the other places where supposedly COVID interacts and does mad things. But they say the vaccine is causing strokes. That would be a cerebral thrombosis. That is not pulmonary. Pulmonary is in your lungs. Cerebral is in your head. Not blood clots, even though you could say technically they're doing the same thing. We have a specific word for a stroke. More specifically, the term is cerebral thrombosis, which gives people more information, which is why they purposely would use terms to give people less information to say it's a blood clot. These medical professionals immediately purposely spreading lies deserve to be in jail. They know they can get away with it. Look at Johnson & Johnson. Purposely withheld the fact that asbestos was in baby powder for over 30 years. They knew it was killing people and causing ovarian cancer, but they chose to remain silent. They must have been scientists, doctors all over doing tests and realizing this, but they stayed silent. What happened to lawsuits? Hefty fines. They can print all the money they want. Fines being nothing. Them in the same world. Every single executive who's ever done anything like that would be in jail for the rest of their lives. They pushed cancer on God knows how many people. They knew they were wrong, that they should be considered thousands of murder charges, but instead they just get a fine. Yeah, but supposedly the Germans, of all people, have restricted the use of this AstraZeneca vaccine because they're seeing blood clots. No, they're causing strokes and they're killing people. COVID has also woken interaction with brains to turn in liberal patriot fever sets. Wow. Scroll. Okay, like I was saying, but screw a guy. But screw a guy got busted faking riding to an event. Now, this is actually a Twitter status, so I'm actually just going to kind of have to paraphrase here, but supposedly stopped 2 blocks short of an event, got on his bicycle from his armored Suburban, and rode into the event. Now, I thought it was pretty hilarious because I'm almost immediately, people are like, yeah, what a dirtbag. He's basically faking this. Whew, oh, man, I rode so far. Oh, wow. You see what good shape I'm in? I'm hardly sweaty at all. Yeah. Well, anyway, so almost immediately, all these guys were coming to his defense. Hey, he tried hard. He was showing a pretense of people should be riding bikes. This and the other thing. It was like every way possible to kind of brown nose and deflect from the fact the guy was faking riding a bike to an event when he simply was riding around in an armored Suburban with executive protection guys. Patriot Fever, no, his bike was not Prius powered, but I tend to think it had a projection up from the seat, so he had like his own internal seat belt and he couldn't fall off. The only problem is every time he was riding it, he wasn't just like, riding the bike. He was kind of riding up and down on the seat on the bike. It's the only bike I've ever seen putting out a brown trail of exhaust. The Secret Service are riding gas-powered golf carts. Oh, jeez. But yeah, got busted faking riding a bike to an event. I love this fake information that's been going out and being passed around. Supposedly the COVID-19 vaccine debunking the myths from Banner Health. Vaccine myth: it was rushed and isn't safe. Vaccine fact: researchers took no safety shortcuts. Large studies show the vaccine is safe. That's not true. They haven't done any studies. It changes your DNA. It's impossible for the vaccine to change your DNA. Wrong. Through the entire component of your life, your DNA is not the same DNA that you started out with. You are constantly mutating. You're not the same person. It can give you COVID-19. The vaccine doesn't contain a live virus strain. Wrong. People have contracted COVID after getting the vaccine. That's documented. It contains egg protein. It doesn't have egg proteins. It can be given to people with egg allergies. Well, you know what? That's true because it contains mRNA, which is a Frankenstein laboratory-produced RNA that's then been enrobed so your body doesn't reject it. Yeah, your body's perfectly fine with egg protein. It's also known as egg albumin, unless you're allergic. Then you simply just get another style of vaccine that doesn't use egg. It causes severe side effects. For most, the vaccine causes mild side effects that resolve in a few days. What about 5 to 7 years later when you develop cancer? That has not been said one way or the other. It makes women infertile. There is no evidence the vaccine causes infertility. Why are they saying bank your sperm if you're going to get the vaccine if it's perfectly safe? Yeah, they did say to do that. Now, this one kind of cracked me up, and being a driver, I can tell you there's some times where, you're basically just, and then you're like driving along going, half empty bottle, woods. You peel off, basically jump behind a tree and take a quick leak. But anyway, they're saying that Amazon has acknowledged the issue of drivers urinating in bottles and issues of apology to congressmen. You know what? As long as they're not whizzing on my package and my package doesn't have like handprints that look yellow and icky, I'm good to it. Okay, I'm perfectly fine with it. If dude wants to drive around and go, I need a bottle. If they go in the back of the truck and they're whizzing in a bottle, I don't care. I really, truly don't care. The ones that really gross me out, though, is the guys that are like the hot dog cart guys. And those are the guys who are whizzing in bottles and then handling stuff with their... Oh, no. That's just icky, okay? People doing that kind of stuff, like food prep and whatnot, yuck. People handling boxes and, you got to understand how dirty a warehouse is and how dirty a truck is and how dirty all these other places are. I mean, there's a reason why, when you handle a package, your hands come up black. It's because all that soot being sloshed around the warehouse from all the diesel exhaust and all the rest of that crap. Packages are dirty, okay? That's all there is to it. For dude to basically hand you a package and you just go, oh, that's a really nice package. No, don't do that, okay? Be sure to wash your hands before you do anything food-related after handling any shipping products at all. Do not. Jack, Amazon's now working on a cool weather self-heating recycling waste uniform. Yeah, it's called the Halo. Pretty soon they'll have like the chief running around. Frozen whiz bottles for next anti-BLM riot. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. This is kind of more of a this is a charitable way to say we ain't dealing with this crap, even though they really don't deal with this crap. It kind of was more like a wish list item, but of all things, Montana has just signed legislation banning sanctuary cities for illegal immigrants. That's kind of cool. Only problem is, here's Canada, right? Here's Montana. It's just on the other side of the line, man. That place gets a hellacious freaking winter. So I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the emotional kind of, hey, man, this is how we feel. I get it. Thank you. But I don't see a whole hell of a lot of Mexicans going, yeah, man, we got to go to Mexico. We got to go to Montana. Yeah, man, we like Montana. No, Mexicans do not go straight from the smoky, Mexico City kind of climate going, yeah, let's go freeze our nuts off. I don't think that's going to happen, dude. Oh, no, CLU. I'm not going to take that one out of the room, but let's just say that he had a problem with the number 2 in the Amazon truck, and he couldn't quite fit the number 2 in a bottle. If he could, man, he'd be like a bomber. He'd be like a bomber pilot, okay? If he could fit a number 2 in a bottle, that guy's definitely, he's laying bombs down like you don't want to know. Illegal Canadian liberals are far better. Oh man. I mean, I was recently intrigued with something, and I was commenting on something, and I realized later that Montana, obviously on the cusp of being Canada actually has more people than I thought it did. I thought it only had like 26, 27 million. No, it's like 39 million people or 38 million people, something like that. It's 30 some odd million people in Canada. And I was talking with one of my friends on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, well, you got to remember, too, that's actually less population than California. I mean, that's less population than New York and Texas put together. You put 4 of our most populous states together, that's the population of some countries. Easy. CLUS, I can't talk today. CLUS. No, they are seriously dropping deuce into plastic Amazon bags in the back of the truck and throwing them out in the suburban neighborhoods. That's rank, dude. That's rank. I'll tell you what, if I found one of those Amazon bags, I would probably return it to Amazon and say, excuse me, your driver dropped this. That's foul, man. But then again, I guess par for the course, they really tend to get some scumbags basically driving their trucks, so you get what you get. Let's see. Scroll. The newest member of the professional sports groups that has attained my complete ire is now Major League Baseball. So Major League Baseball, as if I wasn't watching any professional sports before, you are now added to the list besides the NFL and the NBA. All of you guys right there. I got a bad itch right there. Yeah, you guys. Let's see. Oh, Jack with import sleeves. Leave the Amazon bag full of Duke. Oh man, that's just ugh. I don't know if you guys caught this one or not, but the probably meant to deliver to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Wow. That is funny. Now you guys know, obviously, I am very well just knowledged on anything Disney. Mrs. Dude is a major Disney fan. Maybe not so much right now, but she was years ago. She was like hugely into it. And been to Disney a bunch of times. I think I've been there like 4 or 5 times. I actually got married in Disney in Florida. So trust me, I know the mouse. Well, a guy went to Disney World, which is in Florida. And of all things, they are like, okay, you come into the park, got to wear a mask or check your temperature and whatnot. The guy's like, no, go away. And they're like, no, sir, we got to check your temperature. He's like, yeah, I just spent $15,000 on this vacation. Get away from me. So immediately it was like, okay, now we have to step it up because this guy is not following the line. He's not towing the line. He's not following all this other stuff that we have for him. And they said, okay, fine, you're trespassing. And he's like, all right, take my temperature. And they're like, nah, too late. You're out of here. Patriot fever. So does Yeah, no, he knows gerbils. He doesn't know mice. He knows gerbils, okay? Gerbils. Yeah, he knows gerbils quite well. Yeah, Brownie and Stinky, his two favorite pets. So anyway, so this guy basically got rousted by the Mickey Mouse police, and pretty much was evicted from the. Yeah, Jack Cat, the long tail is useful. Oh, he needs to come out. There he goes. And wash him off. He'll be fine. So anyway, the guy basically got rousted by the Mickey Mouse police and dealt with the same kind of woke, control freak crap that a lot of people now are dealing with all around the country. Now, Mrs. Dude and I were kind of kicking around the idea about, hey, we probably should get a Disney vacation in when things are looking better. And so anyway, we were now going, do we really want to deal with Disney with all their stupidity? And it's like, you know what? No, there might be someplace better. So now we were kind of kicking around the idea about going to Dollywood. If nothing else, Dollywood has a serious reputation for maybe not just being like, a cool amusement park. Their food scene is supposedly sick. I cannot do it justice. I mean, the Dollywood things are just insane. Let me do a real quick look here. I mean, I was looking at these things, and it was just insane. I mean, she is known to have like excellent chow in her place. So I'm looking at a link that says top 8 tasty food at Dollywood that you have to try when you visit. It's a really hardly written title. But scrolling through, they say the top things that you have to try in Dollywood. The meatloaf. Meatloaf might not seem to be a typical dish you order at a theme park, but it's definitely one you want to try in the mood for a Southern-style comfort food found at the Front Porch Cafe in the the Show Street section of the theme park. The meatloaf is a menu favorite on the Dollywood restaurant, crusty on the outside, rich with meat on the inside. The sample platter at Granny Ogle's, the ham and beans. Now, this one really intrigued me. This one really, truly intrigued me. A 25-pound apple pie. It's at the Spotlight Bakery. The pies are baked fresh every day in a cast iron skillet to guarantee a nice flaky crust. You get an individual slice, which weighs 3 pounds, and it's recommended to share with 4 people. Or you can just buy the whole thing for like about $128. Redonkulous. The fried chicken sandwich. Dude, come on. I mean, Chick-fil-A. Hello? The fried chicken sandwich is one of the most popular foods in Dollywood. You can get this sandwich at Franny's food truck located in the jukebox section, jukebox junction. The reason these sandwiches are so good is because one secret ingredient, pickle juice. Bam! They stole that from Chick-fil-A, and it is good. The funnel cakes they say are good. The pork barbecue. Come on, dude. You're basically Dollywood. Would it not be awesome? Would it not be awesome? All you care to eat buffet at Aunt Granny's. Dropped one of my ink cartridges. Let's see. The cinnamon bread. And this looks amazing. The cinnamon bread is a delicious treat at the Grist Mill. Bread served warm from the oven, melt in your mouth dessert. Can't get anywhere else. Theme park serves about 350 loaves of cinnamon bread in just 1 hour. Can't make it to Dollywood? Get your favorite treat. Use the Dollywood cinnamon bread recipe to make it at home. Whew. Yeah, I mean, this has got legs, because if you ask anybody about eating at Disney, it's okay. It's not great. I've eaten at most of the places I would say are notable. I've eaten the sushi in Japan. Obviously they have the countries represented around the Great Lake. I've eaten at England, air quotes. Their fish and chips is actually really, really good. I've eaten at Morocco, and oh man, the food there is really, really good. I love Moroccan food. France had their baguettes and ham and butter, and so good, so good. Their ham sandwiches are amazing. Their creme brulee is like absolutely on point. And a lot of the food there is good. I wouldn't say it's like spectacular. Some of it is better than others. I wouldn't say it's like, out of the park amazing. Some of it is better than others. Patriot Fever, dude, your cardiologist just had a heart attack. Okay, here's the thing. I got rewired for cardiovascular. It was not because of heart attacks, okay? I had not had a heart attack. I still got my little bottle of nitro up there just in case, but I did not have a heart attack. I merely had plumbing issues, okay? Dude is talking himself into a return to Epcot. Well, all right, if you want the notoriety here, this is the complete notoriety right here, okay? The Tigger mug. They're not this big anymore, okay? They literally have stepped down until they're normally big ass cups. They're not big anymore, okay? Now they're like maybe like a 12-ounce coffee cup. This is 24, okay? This is as big as they ever made back in the good old days, and they stepped down. As a matter of fact, you can actually go on eBay and find these monster cups, and you really kind of have to look for a 24-ounce big coffee mug, because they're discontinued. They've been retired. They've been made these things for years. As a matter of fact, the previous Tigger mug developed a crack. It's now retired up on top of one of my cabinets as a keepsake. This one's still a working copy. Let's see. Scroll. Oh, no, but screw a guy has plumbing problems. What happened to the OG Tigger mug? The old one wore out. No. It just cracked, dude. It just cracked. We don't have 5-pound bags of sugar anymore. Same price, but 20% less. 4-pound standard. Well, we also have a sugar tariff. That's why high fructose corn syrup, even though it costs more to make, is still cheaper to use for soda production rather than traditional sugar. Well, if I'm going to drink Coke, and I'm probably not going to drink much more ever again, but if I'm going to drink Coke, I'm going to drink the Coke that is Hershey in Mexico. Simply because they're making it with azúcar, sugar. They're not making it with high fructose corn syrup. I don't want to put that crap into my body. Most of the stuff I try to drink, oh yeah, by the way, it's got sugar in it, okay? You just drink less of it if you want to save calories. Problem solved. But anyway, this guy got hosed in Disney. And I can tell you for a fact, trying to spend $15K to make it to a Disney vacation, it is not hard at all. The place costs like $110, $115, $120 a day for the tickets. Yeah, it gets expensive quick, okay? I do need to bounce this one off you guys. And this is going to be the vote for House Resolution 8, which was the anti-gun legislation imparted upon us by the Dumbocrats. But nearly all Democrats, with the exception of one, Jared Golden, a Democrat from Maine who's probably deathly afraid of losing his ass right now, voted for H.R. 8, which passed by a 227 vote to 203 vote. So obviously that was parties. That was definitely parties. But the Republicans did majority vote against it. However, some did. Know your enemy. Vern Buchanan, Republican, Florida. Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican, Pennsylvania. Maria Salazar, Republican, Florida. See a trend here, like certain really, really blue areas? Yeah. Andrew Gabrino, Republican, New York. See the trend? Chris Smith, Republican, New Jersey. Fred Upton, Republican, Michigan. Carlos Jimenez, Republican, Florida. See the trend here? Blue areas. Adam Kitzinger, Republican, Illinois. H.R. 8, the Bipartisan Background Checks Act of 2019 should become law. Will essentially create a national gun registry system. The National Gun Association, or National Association for Gun Rights, NAGR, tells reporters it will outright ban nearly all private firearms sales, force nearly all firearms purchases to be registered through the Brady-Nix registration system, criminalize law-abiding Americans want to sell firearms to close friends and neighbors, unless Big Brother approves via their registration schemes. Yeah. Bad juju. But know your enemy. Those 8 buttholes did vote with the Democrats. Orange is being annoying. Trying to do stuff here, and he's like jumping on me. Some countries have required proof of vaccination for international travel for decades. Medical experts and journalists confirm. Not like this. Not like this. As discussion surrounding vaccine passports continues, medical experts and journalists are explaining how proof of vaccination has been required upon entering certain countries for decades. Not like this. The required vaccinations were meant to prevent yellow fever, polio, meningitis, and more diseases. Yeah, but all those diseases don't have a 99.6% survival rate. It's really specious, folks, when they start throwing this stuff around like this. Let's see. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. This is phenomenally amazing. There was a Polish pastor in Calgary, and it's a viral video. You guys can search for it. But the cops came in and interrupted like Passover, like Easter, like, holiest of holy times in Christianity and Judaism, interrupted the church service. Now, even the Canadians have legal remedies for this, and there's a law in place that says you may not interrupt a religious service at all. Well, anyway, these cops come in and they start getting ready to, like, hey, man, you're not wearing masks and all the rest of this stuff. This guy walks up to him, and I do mean like the father, walks up to him and is like, get out, Nazis, get out, you fascists, and proceeds to just light them up in no uncertain terms, telling them to get lost, don't come back unless you have a warrant. The cops, notably, were looking at this firebrand Polish dude. We're like, this isn't working out here. We're gonna roll out, But they did get snotty about it until they basically saw a dude was not playing. Now, he kept his language clean, but I'll tell you what, that is not a guy I want to piss off, because he let them know in certain terms exactly what he thought of them. So if you look this up, get out Nazis. Calgary pastor shouts down police interrupting church service during Holy Week. Wow. That guy is a firebrand, and that's definitely the kind of, soldier for Christ that we all can stand behind. I love this one. This is Peppermint Pisaki at her best. I cannot do this justice. Polish Canadian accent. Yes, Jack Cat. That guy was really, really feisty. Like, he did not take crap. Never mind the fact you don't piss off the Polish guys to begin with, because they're feisty to begin with. They know how to do stuff. Common Core educated Peppermint Pisaki. Quote, businesses won't raise prices just because we raise their taxes. End quote. Hey, Peppermint Pisaki, do you even know how businesses work? If it costs them more, they pass the cost on to the consumer to justify the expenditure. Yeah, this is your kind of stupidity. Just your kind of stupidity. This is one, I don't know if you guys know about this or not, but all the police tend to be running these Ford Explorers around now. So when they're running a slick top, where you'd like no light bar or anything, and they're running like the plainclothes vehicles, here's the easiest way to tell if it's a cop car or not. Standard equipment on all civilian Ford Explorers: luggage rack. Cop cars, no luggage racks, ever. Yeah, check that. Circle back. Circle back, Peppermint Pisaki. Oh, man. Now, this is looking interesting, though, for some people who have been, like, stridently rhino buttholes. And I do mean of high-order buttholes. Now, how this person got elected and stays in office and maintains that position, I will never, ever know. But Alaskan Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski is now trailing her GOP challenger, Kelly Shibaki, I think it is. It's like Tshibaka. So I think it's just Shibaki or something. But anyway, so she's now trailing her, and it's not even close. So looking like Tshiebaki is running at 33.6% of the vote compared to Murkowski at 18.8% of the vote. Why? Murkowski's stridently anti-gun. How does somebody from a state like Alaska, where you better have something on your hip at all times because, well, there's plenty of things that want to go out there and eat you. I don't know, like black bears and brown bears and polar bears and moose and all these other things that are big, nasty, heavy, strong animals. We're little squishy monkeys and it'll just knock us down and basically stomp all over us. Most Alaskans always have something that goes bang in their car and always have something that goes bang in their house because, well, you never know when something goes bang on the door and it's not a person. How this person keeps getting elected into Senate in Alaska, I have no clue. But she needs to get booted. And supposedly, Tshiebaki, I'm just going to mess up her name, I'm sorry, but Tshiebaki is pretty much pro-gun from what I understand and has stated as such, I'm pro-gun, I'm not a Lisa Murkowski. So things might be switching up in the Senate, hopefully sooner rather than later. And also this whole, mandate thing that they got going on now with, we're going to basically institute all these really just anti-constitutional gun laws might not work out so good for the Democrats in the midterm elections. It's already been stated that they try to ram through as much stuff as possible because they already see the writing on the wall and they know they're going to get punished. And there's a lot of Democrats that are really having second thoughts now about voting for Biden. Why did they vote for him in the first place? Why did they simply not just go, you know what? I maybe need to see more research here as opposed to going, Orange Man bad, Cheeto president, all the rest of this happy, stupid falderall that they didn't bother to see more information about? Know your guys. That's the best thing you can do. And simply not only second source, but double source, triple source. Check all your information. Don't go by Snopes, but definitely check for more information. And I can tell you for a fact, there's this one video that one of my friends sent me on Facebook, and it's pretty funny too, because it was Pelosi going, well, this and the other thing is, and it's like, it's a fake video because they slowed it down. Well, you slow it down 10%, and she looks positively hammered. It was hilarious. So then I punched it up, and I tried to, drunk Pelosi yellow dress. Immediately Google's like, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's a fake video. Not even why it's fake, but it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. It's posted up on Facebook and this and everything. It's removed. YouTube removed it as well. It didn't have anything to do with it. I was like, okay, here's how you handle Google. The way you handle Google is simply like this. You go to Google and you go, hi, Google, I want to go to Bing. And you go to Bing. And then once you go to Bing, you start looking at their stuff. And Bing immediately had a video contrasting the slowed down version with the original footage. That's all I wanted to see. I didn't care if she was drunk on camera or not. I just wanted to get the whole story. I did not need to have Google editing out the fact that, well, was she not drunk? And Snopes was her great purveyor of truth. I don't care if she was drunk or not, okay? I just wanted to see what the actual poop was. And I thought it was hilarious to see her slowed down video looking completely roughshod. That just tickled me to no small degree. Patriot Fever, Illinois damn near had 35% of its counties voting to separate. Maybe we can get rid of Kensington Dipwad. Well, hopefully you can, dude. The only problem is sometimes you have those states that they're so just indebted to the Democrats, they cannot stop themselves from voting for all the Democrats. Oof. Jack Cat, any thoughts created to the vacuum created by Russia's passing? Has there been any positive movement in talk radio land? Well, yeah, I mean, supposedly right now there is the replacement for him is absolutely actually who did replace him? Hang on a second here. Let me undo my stuff. Having a brain fart here. I'm gonna cheat like crazy here, okay? I'm gonna cheat like crazy. Because I noticed somebody else was put into his time slot, and it was not the guy I thought and hoped it was going to be. But let me see here real fast. I really truly wish it's the guy I like. I really like Buck Sexton. let's see here. The let me find this. Well, supposedly they're now running a local guy on the local one that actually ran the Rush Limbaugh show. Okay, but there is a replacement, if you can ever say such a phrase. So let me try real fast here, and I'm cheating like crazy here because I'm doing this on the home computer, so hopefully it doesn't crash. Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino is going to be the one that is currently picked up by the guys who actually were the production company for Rush. And I know Rush has his own production company, but the guys that are actually running the show, was it Prestige Network or some network like that? But essentially, what it is they've now picked up Dan Bongino, who will be in place of Rush Limbaugh during the 12 to 3 afternoon time spot. Let's see. Cheat. Patriot Fever. I was told Dan Bongino was taking his time slot, which would be disappointing. Hope they would keep the name and rotate the hosts each week. So did I, dude. I mean, for me, one of my absolute favorite fill-in hosts for Rush Limbaugh is definitely Mark Stein. Mark Stein to me is just fun. Buck Sexton. I really, really like Buck Sexton. I do not like Mark Levin. To me, he's just... Jack Cat says variety would have been better. I feel the same way, dude. I would have liked to have seen a rotating host thing. And also, if you simply had just, pull. I mean, I know if you go on rushlimbaugh.com, they have his like 33-year library there and everything. But if they had like the hosts doing their spiel and maybe like 15-minute interludes of, one of Rush's things, that to me would have been absolutely perfect. And there's a lot of Rush Limbaugh content actually on YouTube. So I've been watching those, like a lot of his older videos. I don't know so much about the Rush Limbaugh TV show. I thought that was kind of but him doing his Rush to Excellence tours were fun. Too much pressure on this immediate replacement. Well, Jack Cat, that's part of the problem, unfortunately, right now with AM radio, was the fact that Rush made AM radio what it is today again. He made talk radio relevant. Unfortunately, there's a lot of also rans. Michael Savage to me was never, ever just not. Michael Savage to me was just oil and water for just not it. But Mark Stein to me, he's fun, and I really truly enjoyed when he filled in. Of course, you had Walter Williams, Black by popular demand. He was hilarious. If you say like an economics professor is like dry and fuddy-duddy, that was not Walter Williams. He was definitely cool. There was a lot of guys that filled in for Rush that truly had awesome talent, and I don't know, it would have been like a standalone. Yeah, that's the guy replacing Rush. But like others had said in the room, for him to have like a rotating cadre in his time slot would have held us in good stead. I wish Mark Stein had his own program. I really, truly do. Bongino is okay in small doses. I mean, I cannot handle Bongino, 24/7. Hey, it's the Bongino show. Hey, it's just like another New York gumball to me. It's just, I mean, the guy's smart. He's really relevant, says good stuff and everything, but he just doesn't do it for me, man. And I know it's ridiculously huge shoes to fill. And there is no replacement for Maha Rushi. Never will be. The biggest problem, of course, we have is just the simple fact that just such a unique personality, and just, I mean, it was awesome too, because you could just turn the guy loose, dog in traffic, and he would just riff. And you'd have just 3 hours of just great stuff every single day. I don't think there was one time I ever turned on the radio where he was talking about something I'm like, bailed. I don't think there was one time. I really don't. And the only time I actually had situations where I had to bail is simply because, I was at work, or I needed to turn off the radio, or I needed to do something else. It was never a case of, oh man, it was more a case of just, like literally when G. Gordon Liddy had his show on, I was literally jumping channels between those two. You know, it'd be a case of one was on commercial and the other one was still talking. And then I would jump back and forth quite literally between those two when I was driving around Washington, D.C. and Maryland and Virginia. And they had decent enough AM channels that I could do that. I could literally jump, you know, from side to side on that one, no issues. And like I said, it's hard shoes to fill. Bongino, he's okay. He'll probably grow more into it, and he'll do okay. Is he ever going to be a true replacement? No. That's never, ever going to happen. There's something that's so truly unique and just completely definitively rush to say that's it. But anyway, coming up on the 10:30 time period, you guys hung out with me tonight. I appreciate your kind attentions. Still waiting for Around the Cabin to get their stuff together. Of course, you can find me on Gab1 as Dude Jerky 80S. So gab.com, which would be gab.com/Dude Jerky 80S. That's Gab1. That's my primary. Of course, Facebook, 80s Podcast Channel, gmail.com is my email address. Facebook, obviously, I'm Dude Jerky 2. Obviously, I'm here on today's podcast channel. You guys are watching me now. I appreciate your kind attention. You guys hung out with me tonight. You got many other places to go, but on a Tuesday, you hung out with me, so you get a gold star for attendance. Good stuff like that. I'm going to break up with this one. Those people in the room, those people out of the room, those people watching me all around the planet, I appreciate your kind attention. You guys hung out with me, and good stuff like that there. I'm going to catch you guys next week, and I might put another video. I mean, I still got stuff to play with. There's the envelope just off to the side here for maybe be doing something that goes click, click, bang, bang. Who knows? Good stuff like that there. I'll catch you guys later. A good week, and I'll talk to you then. And good stuff. Catch you guys. You go keep centering as always. You know what you love it. And got to find the in-stream button again. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. Yeah. Catch you guys. See you guys.